Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely massive, a groundbreaking new research paper by Jean Shea and a pretty extensive team of researchers that is fundamentally changing how we interact with information. We're not just talking about a minor iterative update here. This is a huge leap forward in artificial intelligence that really tackles the core problem of how machines retrieve, process, and understand human knowledge. So we're going to give you a comprehensive overview of this exciting research today and figure out exactly why the entire tech world is buzzing about what this team just pulled off.
So think about this for a second. What if a search engine didn't just give you a bunch of links, but actually synthesized the knowledge for you? You know the drill, right? You type in a really complex query, you get this massive wall of blue links, and suddenly you have 20 different tabs open just trying to find one cohesive answer. You are the one doing all the hard work. You're reading, extracting, cross-referencing, piecing it all together. But what if the system could just step in and do all of that heavy lifting for you, entirely on its own?
That's exactly the shift we're talking about. We're moving away from traditional search engines that basically act like simple librarians just handing you books, and we're transitioning to advanced agents that step right into the role of dedicated researchers. It's a totally fundamental shift. In the past, the end goal was just finding a keyword-matched web page, but now we're aiming to synthesize actual usable knowledge. The machine reads the pages, connects the dots for you, and just hands over the final reasoned output.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Beyond the search engine. 2. Meet the Quest agents. 3. The secret training recipe. 4. Data without human annotation. 5. Beating the frontier models. And finally, 6. An open source future. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Beyond the search engine. Let's take a quick look at the evolution of AI search. The paper defines a deep research agent as a system that operates over long horizon tasks. Now, what does that actually mean? It means it doesn't just do a quick one-off query to tell you, the capital of a country. It acts exactly like a human researcher would. Imagine compiling a really comprehensive market analysis that takes several hours. That is a long horizon task. It requires sustained reasoning. The agent has to autonomously gather data from multiple places, figure out how those totally disparate pieces fit together, and synthesize a comprehensive answer over a long period of time. But here's the catch, and it's a big bottleneck that the researchers explicitly point out. The absolute best systems out there right now, the frontier agents that can actually do this kind of deep research without hallucinating wildly, are completely proprietary. They're locked up behind corporate paywalls. And on the flip side, the existing open source agents that you and I can freely access, they tend to just get confused or generalize really poorly when you throw complex, diverse tasks at them. So the market is left with this massive gap. How do we actually train a broadly capable, deep research agent that everyone can use? Which brings us to Section 2. Meet the Quest agents. This is where we get into their general-purpose AI solution. So say hello to Quest. As outlined in the research, Quest is a whole family of open models scaling anywhere from 2 billion to 35 billion parameters. They are general-purpose deep research agents designed to handle a really vast array of complex tasks. And the authors built Quest with 3 core strengths in mind. First, fact-seeking, actually finding the real truth. Second, citation grounding, which is absolutely crucial, meaning it definitively proves exactly where that truth came from. And third, report synthesis, pulling all of that into one cohesive document. Now, combining all 3 of those is notoriously hard. An AI might be amazing at writing text, but terrible at citing sources accurately. Quest is purpose-built to nail all 3 simultaneously. And to successfully pull off those crazy, multi-step, multi-hour tasks without totally losing its mind, Quest relies on a built-in context management mechanism. You see, when standard models research a topic for a long time, they often suffer from context degradation. Basically, they literally forget your original instructions or lose track of things they found an hour ago, which, as you can guess, inevitably leads to hallucinations. Quest's mechanism acts like this incredibly robust short-term memory vault. It's constantly managing and prioritizing all that text it reads, making sure the model never loses the thread during deep research. All right, Section 3, the secret training recipe. Let's see exactly how Quest is built. Right in the abstract, the researchers outline a really clever 3-stage training recipe: mid-training, supervised fine-tuning, and reinforcement learning. To break that down simply for you, mid-training establishes the model's base capabilities, basically feeding it the broad knowledge it needs to function. Then, supervised fine-tuning, or SFT, steps in to teach the model the exact format and behavior it needs for specific research tasks.
And finally, reinforcement learning is used to push the model to iteratively optimize its own decision-making and reasoning over time. It is a brilliant, layered approach. But to make it work, you need data. And I mean a lot of data.
That takes us right into Section 4, Data Without Human Annotation. Let's look at the role of synthetic tasks. So central to their whole training recipe is this curated data synthesis pipeline they call unified rubric trees. Sounds a bit academic, but it's basically a highly structured automated grading system. Instead of armies of humans painstakingly grading the AI's research attempts, this pipeline allows the model to generate its own training tasks across all sorts of different types. And crucially, it assigns verifiable rewards to those tasks. Because this rubric tree framework objectively verifies if the model got the right answer based on strict logic, the researchers literally eliminated the need for human annotation. The model just trains and corrects itself. The sheer efficiency unlocked here is, quite frankly, a game changer. Historically, if you wanted to train highly capable AI models to do deep research, it required human experts manually labeling data and grading responses. That takes months. It costs millions of dollars. By using fully synthetic tasks with these verifiable rewards, the researchers achieved state-of-the-art training while completely bypassing that slow, expensive human bottleneck. It fundamentally changes the economics of how we build incredibly smart AI moving forward. Moving on to Section 5, Beating the Frontier Models. Let's explore their world-class results. 8,000. That staggering number is literally all it took. By using only 8,000 highly curated, synthesized tasks in their training pipeline, Quest was able to hit world-class results. To put that into perspective for you, traditional large language models usually need millions of data points to properly learn complex reasoning and formatting behaviors. Getting this level of deep research competency with just 8,000 synthetic tasks, that is an astonishing leap in data efficiency. It proves once and for all that quality and strict verification absolutely trump sheer volume. And when you benchmark it against the best in the world across 8 diverse, deep research tasks, Quest doesn't just compete, it absolutely dominates. As the paper shows, Quest approaches, and in some cases completely surpasses, the massive closed-source proprietary agents that normally own these charts. On top of that, it achieves the absolute best overall performance among recent open-weight agents. It is a massive, quantifiable victory. It proves that highly efficient, synthetic-driven training can go toe-to-toe with the biggest tech giants out there. Finally, Section 6, An Open Source Future. What this means for democratizing AI. The researchers literally dropped the mic at the end of their abstract. Quote, "We released everything, models, data, and training scripts." No way, right? They didn't hide this massive breakthrough behind a corporate paywall or hold on to it for a competitive advantage. By putting the 2 billion to 35 billion parameter models out there, along with the underlying synthetic data and the exact training scripts, they essentially just handed the keys to the broader community. They are empowering developers, students, and researchers absolutely everywhere to study, build upon, and create their own deep research agents. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If powerful synthesizing deep research agents are no longer locked behind corporate doors, but are totally open source and freely available, how will this change the way you learn, work, and interact with information tomorrow? The era of simple keyword search is definitely ending, and the era of autonomous knowledge synthesis is officially here. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on the Quest research paper, and keep exploring.